Hello, everybody, and welcome in to a live episode of Vox and Jed Fight About It, where today we're going to be talking about a lot of things, but most specifically, we're going to be talking about the fact that we're live this episode, which is really interesting for a gimmick for a show like ours, and we just spent our pre-show talking about that, which you can't check out yet, weirdly enough. Even if you did sub to us on Patreon, that's not going to be here for 2 days. We were just talking about that on the pre-show, in fact. But yeah, you can go check that out on our Patreon on Sunday when this episode will actually release. We're going to talk about the release of this episode and the way that it's going to release in the episode as well. That being that the actual episode will come out on Sunday. If you're seeing the stream right now on Friday, then that means that you are one of the lucky few who gets to see it live, be it live, and participate in the chat. Jed? What happened to Jed? Where the hell did Jed go?
Oh, no. I'm crashing. I don't know why I'm crashing. I'm not even the one streaming. I'm back, though. We're good. we roll on.
All right. Well, so, I guess
okay.
We roll
Can we
on.
talk about the curse? Do we talk about the curse even? We can't record this show smoothly, ever. And we were wondering if it would carry over here. So we're powering through.
Yeah. The objective is that the interesting thing about doing a live episode is that you get one take at the thing. And so the interesting part of that, well, I say interesting when I mean difficult, but the difficult part of that is that we get one take. One. Meaning any mishaps, anything, it has to go in. Exactly. And so
internet hiccups.
All of it. All of it, we just have to power through it. So the objective today is to see if we can, lightning rod our way through 2 hours of this show without Jed's ISP shitting out, my stream shitting out, running out of topics, or Twitch as a whole blowing up somehow, or Discord shitting out. Discord could do that too. Discord is a factor.
That's a possibility,
here. So there are many aspects. So as long as nothing insanely show-stopping happens, we will be doing a live episode today. In the event of its failure, we might try again to get a live version in. But that's that. That's that, and that's how that is looking. But we're doing our live episode, and I think that's super interesting because, man, I haven't live streamed a just chatting stream in forever. I might have done 3 in my whole career. Actually, they're a very rare sight, and so. You know, it's very intriguing from that perspective to be doing a just chatting stream, and I'm curious as to how this will go. But enough about it being live. And unless you have more to say, I guess go ahead.
Yeah, I do have one thing to say. If you are here for the live show, this doesn't apply to you Spotify and YouTube watchers. But if you are here for the live show, feel free to interact with the chat, and we'll give comment on if the chat says anything. So don't be afraid. But yeah. We're going to get into the show now.
Yeah, we're going to get into the show proper now. So, things that have happened this week. Let's talk about, because we only announced this a few hours ago, you can sometimes, I can sometimes be a little too on the gun with announcements. I can be a little too gung-ho to announce something, and a little too last minute on a lot of them. Because a lot of the times ideas will come to me, I'll announce them, and then the race begins from the second you announce it to release of, hey, I gotta get the thing out, at least for me. And so, because there's an acceptable window between that announcement and the thing coming out where people just stop caring what you're releasing. That it could be, bars of solid gold for everybody. If you come out every day and claim you're gonna give that out tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, and you go, well, I mean, we had to delay a little bit, and, things were unforeseen, and we had a, no, none of that. You're gonna get forgotten, man. You're gonna get left behind.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little too fast sometimes, but I say all that to say So we got more news about the new Skate game that's coming out.
Did we?
And the news about it is that it's still coming.
Oh,
but
wow!
this is a game that they initially announced in 2022. We are 4 years deep as of, like, the release of this. Like, 3 years deep now. 4 years by the time it comes out, sometime between now and the end of the year. Like, assuming it's, like, right on 2026, it will be pretty late. They're saying summer, but they've said that before. They said that last summer, in fact, that it would be out this summer. So I'm not necessarily super hopeful on that. But, dude, there's just a point where you announce your product too early. That's my problem with the Skate franchise. It's like, the new Skate game, I'd love to play it. I don't like, hot take, I played Skate first. I hate the controls of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I think they're far worse in every way. Because that's just
I haven't played enough Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I just kind of learned Skate 3. That's really the only skating game I have experience with.
Skate 3 is so well, what's an apt way to put it? Whereas Skate 3 is a little bit physics based, but mostly just kind of going for it. It's very based on, like, your left bumper moves your left leg and gives you a little push, you know? And so you can combine that with, like, how would you combine your left leg and your right arm for a move? Okay, we'll press the buttons that correspond to those two things, and you will just do the move, and that's the combo. Whereas Tony Hawk seems to lean way more on a combo system of, like, oh, you pressed, like, up left trigger A and B in the right sequence. Okay, now you get to do an ollie, and it's like, well, I don't necessarily know that this is the most satisfying way. You know, it feels clunky to me.
It feels like trying to put in inputs for, like, a fucking fighting game or something, and it's like, I don't know. I much prefer the just, like, stick rolling around that Skate has.
It's much more casual and enjoyable. I feel like that's the case, where it's like, because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater has a lot more technicality to it. It does get a lot more technical a lot faster, but the thing about Skate is that Skate is playable while you listen to music and jam, and you don't have to think about it even once. You can just play it.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And that's my thought about it.
It's all vibes all the way down.
It would be like if GTA 5 asked me about my alternator in my car. That's how I feel about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in terms of, like, in terms of games like that, where it's like, dude, this is a skating game. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I want to skate. I want to do cool tricks, but mostly I want it to be flowy and fun to control. That's how I feel about driving. That's how I feel about skating. Any sort of movement in video games needs to be flowy, and I just don't find Tony Hawk's movement very flowy at all in comparison. But I think that honestly has a lot more to do with me playing, like, hours and hours and hours and hours of Skate 3 on the Xbox 360 as a kid, as, like, the only the only, like, skating game of any kind that I had ever touched. And so hearing there's going to be a new one when the third one was, like, I'd love to go back to Skate 3, but, like, you find me a PS3 or Xbox 360 emulator that functions well, and I'll find you those bars of gold that I was talking about at the beginning of the thing. But that's just the state of things. And nowadays we can decompile Xbox games, apparently, and make them natively run on PC, so I'm holding out hope that some Skate fan out there somewhere is going to adapt that. They did it with Sonic Unleashed, because of course they did.
Well, yeah, I don't necessarily, I'm not surprised that Sonic fans were the first one to, like, throw in the towel and be like, fuck it, we care enough about this niche game. But I'm surprised that Skate 3 didn't have a PC release. What is with, like, 2015 was the year that people decided that PC releases fucking mattered. And it's baffling to me, honestly, especially because, like, PC gaming has been, like, the original gaming for like ever since, like,
because it comes down to a lot of
original, but
as far as I can tell, it comes down to a lot of industry politics, where it's like, yeah, of course, Microsoft, you know, the guys who made Windows aren't super fond of the fact that they have, like, a third party like Steam being the guys who are known for selling video games on Windows, you know, despite their efforts, I guess you could call it, to make stores in the past. And so it's gotten to the point where it got to the point where, like, Steam was so big that it just got unignorable in terms of, like, well, why the hell isn't your game on Steam? to the point where like you couldn't just not do a PC release. And nowadays, we've gotten so used to it that when I see a game that's only coming out on consoles, I go, nobody's gonna play that. And then nobody plays that. Unless it's a Nintendo game, and those are special cases. But, like, generally speaking, when it's like, oh, Spider-Man 3 just got announced? Let me go to the comments section on this post about the announcement. Can't wait for the PC release a year later. I'm waiting up for the PC version. PC version's gonna be better. I can't wait to mod it on PC when it comes out on PC. And it's like, dude, this year wait is nothing. Like, Spider-Man 2 is, like, still not out on PC, I don't think. Is it? Oh, no, it, like, just came out a couple months ago, I think. Like, that year
I don't know if they're ever going to do any more releases. After the Helldivers thing, they had said that they didn't want to do that after the Helldivers thing. Because, like,
oh, please. I'm taking my ball and going home. Yeah, try that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, nobody's buying a PS5 for one game, buddy, and there's, like, 4 games to play on it. And if you only like one of them, and it's the one that just got announced that ain't even out yet, no, I'm not paying $600. Put it out on PC, or I probably won't play it. Is where I'm at, and where most of the gaming industry seems to be these days. And honestly, especially with things like PC handhelds, like the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck and whatnot, coming into fashion, where it's like, dude, having it available on a platform that those can access to is important. But I think it mostly just came down to, like, Steam was at, like, its biggest it's ever been and still growing in 2015, with Undertale having, like, gotten a release on the platform, and then FNAF, and then, like, all of those, like, various indie games from that year and the year before. Like the past few years, indie games had been blowing up on Steam and not getting console releases, so a lot of people came to Steam for their indie stuff and the Valve stuff and some other AAA multi-platform stuff. But it became so ubiquitous over time that I think you just couldn't ignore it at a certain point. That's where my head's at on that. And it's like, dude, I don't believe for a second that Sony's gonna give it up. I don't believe that for a minute. I would sooner believe you saying that they've given up after the PS5 and will solely be releasing on multi-platform. Like, I would not doubt that for a minute, because it's like, dude, the PlayStation Network servers go down for, like, days at a time.
PSN
weekly.
Is terrible, yeah.
Yeah. When's the last time Xbox Live went down?
PSN is just the worst.
When's the last time Steam servers went down?
I've had my issues with Xbox Live in the past, but I think that just mainly stems from, like, being a kid and playing Xbox Live practically 24/7. Never a whole day, no. Like, Sony is just not good.
No, you hear about full days with PSN regularly. At least for me.
Yeah.
That's been in the news lately. I don't know when it happened. I don't know if it was today or just recently, but I'm getting a lot of, like, content about, like, every time, you know how I know? Because every time PSN goes down for any reason, I get that clip of Snoop Dogg picking up his phone and going, hey man, if y'all don't fix this shit, I'm moving to Xbox permanently. I'm not buying another fucking PlayStation. I'm trying to play some Call of Duty. I can't even hop on the game. Man, it's been like this for days. I don't like it. This happens all the time. I'm sick of it. I think this was all, like, during the time that, like, Snoop Dogg was streaming regularly too. And so he's like, dude, I was about to hop on stream. And I know what that's like, to be, like, 5 minutes from hopping on stream. And then, boom, suddenly something completely out of your control happens that, like, is like, well, either Discord or whomever has to fix their shit before I have to be live, or else I'm just kind of not going to be able to go today. And so, like, I feel his frustration, but I get that clip every time. I'll get it, like, once or twice a month and go, oh, is PSN down again? And I'll Google it, and it's down every time.
It's a more accurate tracker than Down Detector is like when that GIF is posted on Twitter.com.
When that video comes across my TikTok feed, that is the moment that I know that, like, it is the lowest quality video of, like, I could believe he shot it on a Nokia. It's real bad. I don't know if it's just it's reposted all the time or, like, I'll have to show it to you after the show.
I think it's funny when things get, like, very clearly 6 or 7 reposts deep, just via, like, you can tell because of the compression bit rate. Yeah. Oh, man.
It's a very particular kind of bitrate crunch. Like, bitrate crunch is a very specific thing where it's like, when a JPEG gets reposted too much, you can definitely see it. When, like, you know, when a compression algorithm gets its hands on something like thousands of times, it becomes like immensely obvious, and it's like that is unmistakably where the like it's like picking up a message in a bottle and opening it and seeing a fucked up piece of paper and going, yeah, no, this has been places, you know? Like, this has been all over.
This has been some shit, dude.
Yeah, this thing is aged like a fine wine, dog.
This thing was a Twitter meme, and then it's gone back to
got an
YouTube,
iPhone watermark
and then
on
hit
it.
TikTok.
But there's also a 9gag watermark at the top, too. And there's, like, the little Reddit thing in the corner.
Oh, and it ends with a TikTok fucking pudding.
And it ends with,
it's
like, a
loud as fuck.
Why did they make that, like, almost entirely just, like, hey, do you have, like, any amount of bass in your speaker? You will know about it. You'll know exactly how much you have. And it's like, oh yeah, let me just rattle your speakers clean. It's like one of those, like, rattle your fucking shit clean. Like, rattle the dirt out of your speakers bass tests every time. It sucks.
Get the water out of there. Yeah, I think it's funny that works. Like, those, like, remove the water from your phone noises actually do function. And
yeah, it's just vibrations,
I don't know.
Man.
I can recommend them if you've got water in your speaker.
Dude, I've gotten water in my phone so many times. I've gotten, like, I dropped it in the rain the other day and didn't notice it until 5 minutes later when my husband was handing me, like, a wet, grassy phone and going, you dropped this. And so I picked it up and I went, holy shit. And he went, it's fine. And I went, no, it's not. It can't be. Because, like, the glass on the back has, like, a bunch of gaps in it. Not a bunch, but, like, the camera has a big enough opening on it. Like, that glass is just absolutely shattered out. So, like, water can get into my phone super easy. I'm impressed with the amount of water this thing can take. I've dropped it in the toilet before and had it be okay. Like, just fucking quickly reach in there. Like, only a couple seconds, just like a dunk. But, like, and then like, I snatch it out of there.
Splash right in there.
Like, you walk into the bathroom, not a dirty toilet. I think I should preface that, like, it was clean. I was just, like, I had my phone in my pocket.
I thought it was, like, a currently in use. Okay,
no.
That's why I was
in fact, it was the cleanest it could have been, because I was like, okay, well, here's, like, I went to clean a toilet, and, like, clean my toilet, and I sat it on the counter kind of half hanging off, and I have a very small, compact bathroom, which means it fell off the counter into the toilet immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
Right in there. And I was, like, crouched over the toilet cleaning it, so I could just kind of snatch it out. So it's, like, not like it was submerged for, like, more than a second. Yeah. But even that is impressive that it came out of that. Not a scuff. Nothing. It's just fine. It functions just as well. You know?
Like, I had the same thing with my phone where it's like, man, this thing's pretty damn durable. I have not, like... Yeah, I used to be so protective over my phone when I was a kid because it was such like this is an expensive item you have. It is your job to take care of it.
Dude,
and it's like, okay.
But when I was a kid, if you got something that was even worth like $5, because it's like, dude, I'm 7. I don't have money. I gotta take really good care of this. You know? Like, more so with like actual expensive stuff like your phone, of course. But it's like, I never related to those kids who were like, I dropped my phone down a flight of stairs today. It'll be fine. I'll get a new one. And it's like, you'll get a new one, yeah, but like, what about the like several $100s you just wasted just now? But
yeah,
speaking of, I've got actually like a thing that I was gonna put on my topics list that I didn't. That's related to phones breaking. I was on TikTok the other day. And I started getting, the new Galaxy Z Fold got announced, and so a lot of Apple users were like, hey, that's a pretty looking phone, and I'm not very happy with my Apple device right now, so I'm thinking of switching. And so it was a lot of, like, Apple users asking Android users questions. It feels really good when that happens, right? I want to say this as, like, somebody who uses Android. People who use Apple are either like you, where it's like, yeah, I use it for the ecosystem, and I just kind of like it. It's just kind of my preferred choice. I'm not, like, set on it. It's not because it costs money. But the people who like have an iPhone and have an iPhone are like, they're like, no, my phone is better. No, my phone, like, they're on the like, mine is better than yours cope so hard, where it's like, dude, just admit at this point that a flagship Android phone, any of them, can stack up to the latest iPhone just fine. You know, any flagship device of the same price range is going to be exactly the same. Hell, any flagship device like $500 cheaper than the new $2,000 iPhone is going to be better, in fact, for it. You know? But generally speaking, if you have a flagship model Android like a Galaxy or a Note or something like that, You know, if you've got any sort of that, I've got an Asus Zenfone, which is their flagship device from a few years back. And so like
The
if
phone
you've got
from the
any
planet in Half-Life.
Yeah, dude. If you've got any sort of like proclivity about like my phone is better than yours, it's like not really anymore. We've gotten to the age in technology where they're kind of boring and all the same. You know, they've kind of just become one
Yeah,
big
pretty
amalgam of
much.
each other. So it feels really good
Yeah.
to see that cope end and hear like yeah, my phone is better than yours. But what's this like over the is it this could I do this over the you know like I'm just curious, you know. And one of the things that I happen to be curious about, question from Apple users, several of them. How often as an Android user, not how often, as an Android user, where do you even go to get your phone serviced when it like every like couple of months like you need to? Where do you go? Like every like year or two when you need your phone looked at for something? What happened? Where do you go? And it's like, you guys need your phone? Who the hell is going?
I've never gotten my phone serviced ever. What?
But like the like thing about it for me is that like the response from Android users was, yeah, iPhones last like 5 years and then they need servicing. Android phones last 8 or 9 years and they break. This thing will become a like the consensus was servicing. No. One day this device in my hand will be a fucking brick, and that's okay with me. That's what I signed on for. And by then I'll have another like $800 to throw at a new one from current year, you know, and I'll just be fine for another 10 years on that, you know. And that's just how it goes. And it's like I don't understand. It's like I think it is blown out of proportion, definitely. I do think Apple devices do have a lot more issue than Android devices on average, just because Apple wants you to come into their stores and they already have admitted openly to like their planned obsolescence policies and whatnot about these sorts of things. Of just like, yeah, our phones have a short lifespan because we announce a new one every year and then we release a new one every year. So we want people to buy the new one for more than just a status symbol. So they got to give out at some point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so naturally their lifespan is like a little stunted by that. Otherwise, I think an Apple device would hold up just as well. I think the fact that Android is open source and like worked on by not only like your Samsung phone will not only have work from Samsung, it will have work from like it'll have work from like Qualcomm and like 80 other companies and like 4 billion like Linux devs that work on the Android like operating system open source to add shit. Like, of course, you're going to be in your own closed version of Android, but it's definitely going to have the benefits provided by the previous open source versions, you know? So, like, the fact that, like, when you open source something like that, it's just, I don't know that it is completely open source, but it has had a lot more touch to it. The fact is, the manpower behind Android and the manpower behind what makes an Android device tick is a lot more focused on practicality and a lot more focused on getting it done, and a lot more period in that, like, you couldn't hire enough people to make iOS that good, you know, or that feature rich necessarily. Not because it's not as good. Again, for the average user, they're pretty much equivalent. But it's like that stunting wouldn't even be beat out by the fact that you have more years. And like even then it would be a slower decline because like Android devices do that because it's like the same reason that, like, the car you bought used off a guy who's, like, replaced every part in it over the past 20 years, you know, is gonna be, like, yeah, it'll... Like, it's the same agreement, where it's like, yep, I know that this thing is just a box of parts, and I know that it functions now, and I know that it's good for a few years, as long as I need it to be, like, between 5 and 8, and then it's going to, like, explode at some point. It's just gonna, like, fizzle.
Yeah, that's an inevitability.
You know, like, within a day. For the fact that, like, these aren't like prize-winning horses we're talking about here. These are workhorses.
No.
Apple is a racehorse. Apple runs really well, runs their way, and gets it done, and does an elegant job doing it. And then when their job is done, they rest, they get it done, and they come back the next day, and then eventually they break a leg or something, you have to put them down, or they just gradually get worse. You know, at being a racehorse. Whereas workhorses just kind of collapse. They just go, and they go, and they go, and even under the proper veterinary care, once they stop going, they've pretty much stopped going. And that's sort of the, like...
Oh, yeah.
It's not even a quality difference, I would say. I'd say it's kind of lateral, still. Like, just like everything else involved in this, it's very lateral. It just depends on really what you're looking for. Because either one will last you a while. But you just have to be, like... you either are going to have a worse time for the last 2 or 3 years of your iPhone, or you're going to not have a phone anymore very suddenly, but everything will work just as well the day before. You know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's
I don't
typically
know.
how it
I'm at
is, for
about
me at least. You're not about?
I'm at about the like obsolescence phase of my current phone. It's not wanting to pick up cell service as well anymore, and I don't know why.
Those are always the
he
worst
knows.
ones. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're bad at being a phone now?
No, man, that's the one thing that you have to be okay at. Like that is the one thing you need.
Because that's
But
when I started thinking about the Swiss Army knife nature of smartphones, is when it's like, whenever I need to make a call, is the only time that I'm aware that this device is insanely bloated with a load of horseshit features, like beyond like clocks and weather apps. It's full of fucking like biometric scanners and fingerprint scanners, and it's like, dude, this was originally a device that you punch numbers into and get through a phone call. That's it. Why does it need to do all this?
I'd like to punch
Because
numbers into it and
likes
get through
to
a phone
remind
call now.
me. It seems like my modern smartphone wants to do everything except for actually function and make calls and texts. Those seem to be like the one. That seems to be like the one thing that it kind of just sucks at.
It kind of is just bad at it, and it's awful because it's like, dude, I fucking bought this phone so that I can have internet service away from home, dog. Now that you aren't working anymore, you're like super useless. And I get that that's the point, is that Apple's gonna go, yes, now you must come back since it's been 3 years. But like, I don't know, dude. Maybe make your planned obsolescence not be like the phone part of the phone, please.
Well,
why is it
it's
always
even
the
day
Wi-Fi
one?
chip?
It's even on day one. I just mean the act of a perfectly functioning smartphone trying to go and dial in a number and then hit call and then get through the phone call is always the most like awkward to do thing. And I know this because like everybody's been there. I've seen it on Apple. I've seen it on generations of phone for the sake of like, hey, can I borrow your phone? I need to call somebody real quick. Cool, yeah, sure. And then trying to operate their phone. It just sucks unilaterally, it seems, as a process.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not only are people more phone call averse, I feel like it being like a 3-step process is kind of a bit, you know? Like, and God forbid you want to call a phone number you found on the internet. Because, at least on Android, that consists of, I'm going to click to copy this number and just paste it into my phone app. Oh, did you want to click on that and make the call right now? From Chrome, and then we'll, like, pull you over and do it?
What? No.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. I'll make the call right now. I'm about to anyway. Like, let's say you did. And then go, open the phone app and give me the number. It opens to the dial page with nothing dialed in. That's a lot of help. So it's like, well, I'm just going to copy it down now. And then you go back to how you were doing it initially. And then you do it that way. And so it's like, that's just more of the headache of the thing when it comes to making a phone call these days.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It makes sense that people are more phone call averse because it's like, dude, like texting is just blatantly more efficient, no matter what. Like, even email like in a professional setting, email. Yeah,
like any of it. Genuinely, there are so many ways. Since the year 2000, we have had the exact same methods of like communicating with each other. Professionally being texting, calling, email. Those are the 3 ways to do it. Why are we still focused on the one we've had since like the fucking 50s? Faxing, I guess. Why are we still focused on? Why are we still focused on that? Is my question. Like, I don't get.
Yeah. I have no clue, dude. I think it's genuinely just because it's like I do understand it because if there's any back and forth more than 2 or 3, email is terrible. Email is the worst thing to have a back and forth with. So, like, if you're going to be having a discussion about something, I guess I would prefer a phone call. However, like, TeamSpeak or something, dog. Like, I just don't get the, like, phone call nature of the world. Maybe it's just because I'm young and a child or something, but...
No, I don't get it either. But, you know, I was just on the phone earlier today for something that I don't really want to get into, but it was something where I needed my credit card for it. Like, I needed to, like, give, like, a bunch of personal information over the phone to somebody. And I knew that I could do it online, and so I called to ask some questions about the form. And the lady on the other end was like, "Well, I could just do it here for you if you'd like to do it over the phone." And I was like, "No, thanks. I'll do it online." And like she tried to convince me and genuinely seemed puzzled as to why I don't want to give this woman my credit card number by number over the phone. And when like I had told her my name at the top of the call, and that took 4 attempts for her to get my name right. So, like, and I'm sure it wasn't her fault. It was just the signal. That's just how phone calls are.
Yeah.
They sound like shit.
Phone calls sound like shit, yeah.
That's the thing. It's a communication method we've had since, like, the 60s. So why, might I ask, why, if we've had this for, like, damn near, like, 80, 90 years now, why does it still sound the same? Why do phone calls... Why does that recording of Alexander Graham Bell doing the first phone call ever comparable to the phone call recording quality that I hear today, if not better?
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I know the answer. And the answer is like,
do you?
The answer is like the volume of calls has considerably increased, and so instead of spending more money on infrastructure to make those calls smoother, what they're doing is instead just crunching those digital signals as hard as they can, and like trying to like cut down on the amount of data sent back and forth over the phone lines, into like as many like compressed bits as possible. And it's like the idea is that like, well, if you know them over the phone well enough to call them, then you can get your message across, you know. And it's like, well, in a professional setting, that doesn't really work. It's kind of hard to do, you know.
Yeah.
And so like,
let alone like,
I know why. I just logistically I don't see why we couldn't do it another way and just dedicate more infrastructure to it. If we were going to be this phone centric, the internet is better in every way. Communication over the internet is genuinely better in every single way. There are efforts right now, and have been very successful efforts over the past, to coat the globe in an internet connection so that everybody has internet all of the time, you know, and make sure that everybody's online.
Oh yeah.
Why did we do that big push from like 1999 to now of like, we need to ensure that every home in America has internet service? And now we're still using the phone lines that need to be like, they need to fit like 90 calls from your area over 2 megabytes throughput, you know? Like, why the fuck are we still doing that when I can have a Discord call with you? And if you were on a speaker instead of headphones, I could close my eyes and genuinely believe you're in the room with me.
Yeah. But like, could you imagine doing this show over phone? Like speaking to each other over phone call quality? Like, there would be a level of
there would be no show.
Incapability. Yeah, there would be no show just because it's like, unless you're in person, you have to do it. I don't know why we haven't done more of a push. And I don't know why, like, a lot of people dog on Discord as a communication as adults.
It's
and
the
like,
best
you're
one
using
available right now.
fucking Discord. It genuinely is. And it's like,
Zoom, the one that steals your information. Yeah, sure, I'll go to that one. Skype, the one that doesn't exist anymore. TeamSpeak, which is, I'd argue, more cringe if you're like on the angle of this shit is cringy to be using Discord as an adult. But it's like, dude, I caught a clip of like WWE Unreal the other day just because it happened to come across my feed, and they showed like a conference they were having like with the executives, and a couple of the executives were very clearly in the Discord UI with their webcams on, with like the green light coming on around them as they spoke and everything, and like the sidebar visible. It's like, dude, even corporate America has pretty much shifted to, we'll set up a Discord server or a Slack server even.
Fuck it, fine.
And if you've looked at the Slack interface for more than 2 minutes, it's definitely just corporate
I've
Discord.
never heard of Slack before, so I will take your word for corporate Discord.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like, there just aren't many choices right now for like the consumer looking to get into like communication over the internet, you know, in that sort of a way at this sort of a quality with the features that Discord has. You can't really beat it, unfortunately. I wish you could. I wouldn't be using Discord if you could, but you know,
of course, yeah.
But
you take what you can get, really. It's just, I don't know. I think people are like giving shit about Discord, and it's like, no, it genuinely is the best thing. Yeah, it might be cringe or whatever. Yeah, it may be associated with whatever TikTok meme you're talking about, but you know, it works and it's good. because this is high quality audio processing is what we're getting, and I didn't even consider that. I've taken that for granted that like, dude, audio over distance is bad. Like the fact that we're able to do this show at this quality is incredible compared to like phone calls and shit like that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting
There's
that
a
your voice
phone
only
call
really
moment.
started crunching and getting shitty during the part where you were talking about how awesome Discord
I
is
love
and
that.
how like phenomenal the quality is. But I do agree with you that it is a modern
That's
marvel.
so funny.
It is really
Oh,
funny.
man.
But speaking of modern marvels, moving on
Mhm.
to, could you believe none of that was on the topics list? Like damn near none of it.
Wow.
Like the topic we started on, new skate game. That's where we started. That's the
New
only
skate
topic
game,
I've used
right?
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in good shape. We're in good shape. Speaking of video games, let's talk more about video games and their release schedules and coming out too late. The Sims 4 just announced a new expansion pack. Give it a rest.
Okay.
Give it a fucking rest. Make a new game already, for Christ's sake. What happened to that, like, what happened to the preview that we got, like, a year ago of, like, here's house building and sim creation in The Sims 5? What happened to that? Where is it?
Yeah, I don't
Still
know.
in development?
I think that
Who
companies
knows?
have given up on making sequels. I think they've realized that, like, well, graphical quality can,
Live
like,
service.
you know, yeah, live service has made things drop significantly in quality. Just because it's like, you know, who gives a shit? They're gonna play it anyway. And like Fortnite's really popular, and that game came out in 2018. So like visually, it doesn't have to look great at all.
Instead of budgeting out and making a new game, why don't we just think of all the shit that we'd put in a new game, label it an expansion pack, and slap it out there onto the store on top of our old game? And then it'll just be playable that way. And then we get to do all the new content, and they get to pay for it. And we don't have to make a new video game about it. And the thing about The Sims 5 is The Sims 5 has been like an enigma since pre-Sims 4 coming out. Of like, is there a Sims 5?
Goodness.
Maxis, the studio, just closed or got bought by EA at the time, I think. Or had been bought by EA at the time of The Sims 3. And The Sims 4 was the first one they made under EA. And so it was like hey, when are we getting 5 then? We're getting 4 now, yeah, but like how long will 4 live, you know? And ever since then it's been like EA and Maxis both reporting like, oh, well, Maxis closed and now Maxis is back, except none of the people who worked at Maxis work there anymore, except all of them do still. Except EA doesn't want to make a new game, except they do, and Maxis doesn't want to make a new game, except they also do. And so it's just like, I've been getting so many conflicting reports on what The Sims 5 looks like that I genuinely have no clue where it's at in development. I know we saw that preview for it recently, like a year or so ago, but been radio silent since then, and it could very easily be there is no Sims 5 again by now, for all I know.
Of course, yeah, because companies don't care about keeping people informed about the games that they're interested in. No, they care about like making the money about it, because genuinely there are so many games where it's like, oh yeah, I remember that game. What the fuck? Oh, it's dead. Company just killed it quietly. Okay. Yeah,
Keep making money.
Yeah, exactly. They're just they're genuinely. I think we had talked about this a couple times in the last couple of episodes of just like artist integrity getting ruined by like, make more money, please. But like, I think that like The Sims is a pretty good example, because like for the longest we had like Vampire Sims and shit, and isn't the new Sims 4 packs, aren't they literally like just normal house stuff? They're just like, yeah, more dog.
They did like
more
they did a new area. They did a new neighborhood that you can move into not that long ago. For like their like Simple Living pack, I think it was, or something like that. Simple Living expansion. It's the one that's like farm based and like about like homesteading and shit. Which was a really interesting pack. And then there's the Tiny Living pack that has like all the like tiny home stuff in it. But like for the most part, the packs they put out are literally just new clothes and new items for your Sims to interact with, and that's it. Which,
yeah,
I guess is fine. I don't know. I don't know how people play The Sims, really. I play The Sims like a fucking fish tank, dude. I let The Sims make their own choices most of the time. Sometimes I'll get involved, but for the most part, my like minute-to-minute Sims gameplay experience is leaning back in my chair and going, what's that one doing? And like spinning the camera view around to get a better view of what they're doing and going, oh, they're making dinner. All right. What are we making? Mac and cheese again? Really? Okay. That guy over there is building a rocket in the backyard. What the fuck? And so, like, that's just what happens. That's just where it ends up with The Sims for me. Some people, like, get really interactive with their Sims. A lot of people have a cheating issue with this game, apparently. Apparently, it's a pretty common thing for just like, oh, well, I'll just cheat myself the money for this real quick because it's going to be hard to get otherwise. You know? And it's like, what? And then they fall down that slippery slope, of course. But it's just like, dude, I don't ever see the point. You know, like unless I'm just playing to play, in which case I'm just going to cheat myself like a bazillion dollars to fuck around with, and then fuck around and then do a fish tank thing. You know, it doesn't really like matter to me. Like the earning money and decorating the home as you go is like part of it for me. Oh, I played as like a home decor game too. Every now and again I'll stop the fish tank and like move the rocks around a little bit and put a new expensive decoration in there, and then like let the fish go again. You know.
This one looks like SpongeBob's pineapple. Here you go,
dude.
buddy.
Aquarium decorations are so fucking cool that I almost want to get an aquarium just to like decorate it. Honestly,
they're cool.
They're so neat. Not even just like, well, because it's like little models of like little scale models of like shitty like Roman Colosseums or like shrines or like this or like that. There was like a little model of like like a bunch of important buildings in Paris at my local pet store. I was just in a pet store walking down because like you've never had that. You never go to a pet store to go pick something up, and you're like, well, if I'm getting something anyway, I'll walk the aisles for a minute. I'll go look at what like I'll go look at the like the gerbils and the birds and shit, and then I'll walk through like the fish section, and then you do that, and you take a walk through the fish section, and then you see all the decor, and it's just like, dude, there is a scale model of a goddamn Colosseum here. That's awesome. That's wicked.
I want that.
Know, I find that kind of stuff interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Why do pet stores just have like that smell? Now that I'm thinking about it, because you said like, have you ever been inside of like a pet store and you're wandering around, and then I caught the like,
they smell like
smell. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like a weird mix of the floor cleaner they use to keep the floors clean and the bedding they put in with the hamsters. And and a little bit of cat and dog food smell mixed in there too. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. It's so funny. I love to look at all the gerbils and the birds and shit where it's like, I'm never gonna get you, buddy, but is this your life? Do you just get to stay
hanging out with a cockatoo the other day, yeah. Yeah, you just sit there and you go, wow, it's kind of a setup. I honestly, like, I see why animals end up depressed, but, like, in these situations, but, like, honestly, as somebody who's, like, a loser loner, if I were a hamster, this is exactly what I would want. Little window, out into the, like, broader world. I got to see a lot of strangers. Got a wheel to run on, got, like, water, got food, got everything I need right here. Like, literally just everything I need, of it, mind you, but only, like, you know, it is everything I need and some peace and quiet.
But I don't have to do anything.
I don't gotta do anything. I don't gotta pay bills. I just kind of sit here. And then maybe the things that will happen is either I die here in this cage after fulfilling a long life fat and happy, or alternatively, I go live with a family who loves me. That's good. These are fine. Somewhere else, in a cage, or somewhat like this one. Or you end up in that guy's
in
like,
a bag
barrel of
next
hamsters.
to somebody's desk.
That was an awful bit. Good lord.
That was.
I thought it was funny as hell.
I don't have to pay bills. Like, I'm a hamster.
I don't have to pay bills. I'm a hamster. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, it's really weird
and a little bit of an animal
smell.
Format. And a little bit of an animal smell just because of like people bring their animals in to like, oh, well, you pick out a toy or something, you know, or take them in for like the grooming service in the back, or just to go, you know, because it's one of the few like pet friendly places you can like walk your dog in public.
Time, man.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
dude, I can't wait to have a pet that I can bring out in public because my cats don't like people, and my previous dog was like, if he's in a new space for more than 2 seconds, he's going to piss and shit on the floor immediately. just uncontrollably, well, very controllably,
Little
and he's going to
anxious
look at
bastard.
you. No, he's not even anxious. He wasn't even anxious, the little son of a bitch.
It wasn't an anxious thing. He just did it.
He just does that. He just goes somewhere. He does
God
it, and then he
damn.
looks at you like, "Oh, I did that, huh?" Or like, "Yeah." Like, the whole time he's doing it, he looks at you like, "Yeah, I'm doing it." And then he does it, and then he goes, "Oh." Like the regret hits him immediately.
Oh, man.
But like in the act, he's like on it. He gets like post shit clarity.
Yeah. Oh man. I think having like dogs in spaces is really good. I was inside of a Sportsman's Warehouse today to pick something up, and this guy just had his like older like Chihuahua Beagle
I'm sure
mix.
it was
It
like
looked
golf
like
clubs or something.
Yeah, I'm sure it was golf clubs.
A new catcher's mitt, mayhaps, for our friend Jed.
Yeah. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, just like having a dog in a public space is fun because it's just like fuck it. Yeah, man, I like the fact that this guy brought his older dog into the Sportsman's Warehouse. It's made my time at this Sportsman's Warehouse better because I get
What
to
kind
see
of
the
dog?
dog. It was a Chihuahua Beagle mix. I had said that.
Oh,
I
he's
can't
a
believe it.
freak. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to the breed.
Yeah.
My bad. I didn't know where the story was going. I just heard Sportsman's Warehouse today. And I went, oh, Jed said that like he's uncomfortable. I should make a gag. And then I did. So sorry,
it's
I
not
was
even
looking
that I'm
out for my
uncomfortable, it's
friend
just that,
instead of fucking like I'm trying to save you from having to get into that, without it being lingering. But now it is. Look at it go. Anyway, guy brought his dog and it made you feel better.
Yeah, no, I just I like dogs in public space. I understand that people are allergic, but I don't know. I don't know. I like animal friendly spaces. If your animal is friendly, that is. Like if
they got fur just like cats. I'm allergic to dogs. How are you allergic to a dog? That thing is like made out of the same shit you are, dude. Practically, like a cat has like a different fur texture, but like dogs' fur is like coarse as shit. Are you also allergic to like those like metal cleaning wire brushes? Because those have like equivalently like little pieces,
Apparently, it's the dander, as it being said, but
yeah. No, that makes sense, I guess.
The pet dander is what causes it, I guess. But like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine being allergic to animals. Like, I grew up with dogs and cats, so it's just like, oh
animals
man.
Are great.
But that's my friend. He's my guy. What would I do without him? So
I got a short list, Jed. I've got a short list.
Do you?
Of like animals I'd like to hang out with someday. I want to be chilling with a deer at some point. I'd like to hang out with a deer. Capybaras are up there just because they're the most chill outable animal
they're big
of all
chill
time.
guys. Yeah.
Some kind of primate. Like all of them are on the list, but like I'll settle for any of them. The fear of getting my face ripped up. However, big cats are like not on my short list. They're on my long list as like a maybe. But like big cats are like
big cats are my immediate.
Like I want to do it. The idea of it sounds great. I'm not trying to get Ringling Brothered right now, dude. I don't want to get my fucking face torn off. I don't want to be the tourist that finally makes this animal snap and go, fuck it, I'm sick of it, I'm eating one of these fuckers.
I'm hungry. Yeah.
And it's like, any sort of like chimp or ape is probably like just as likely to go, yeah, I'm gonna rip your goddamn head off now. But like, I don't know. I find them charming, like slightly more charming to the point of like, yeah, it's fine. It's a measured risk.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like cats have such a better temperament, so it's like, maybe so.
Because like from what I understand, their temperament is just like house cats, but big.
Because presented with the opportunity to, that's an absolute yes. But like, like if I were standing somewhere right now and you went, hey man, we're like at a sanctuary here. They've got like a, for like, $60 or whatever, you can come hang out with the cats like in the enclosure for a minute or two, see what's going on there and spend some close-up time with them. It's like, yeah, I'd do that in a heartbeat. I'd jump at the opportunity. But like, they definitely are a little further down the list for the sake of the danger of it. Yeah. Any other animals that like are particularly like I need to hang out with that animal?
Oh, bears. If I could hang out with a black bear, I'm bear sized, so I feel like we would have a good time. I feel like
could you wear a bear costume? Like one of those really realistic
I think
bear
I would
costumes.
be more likely to get mauled.
I think that increases your chances of being mauled like a millionfold, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I figure if a bear sees me in a bear costume, he's gonna want me dead. I don't know why. That's the thought in my head.
Who could ever think of that? Yeah, you got any other ones? Because bears are really good. Bears are really good. That's a solid choice.
I don't think so. I think bears. You got most of the primates and shit like that.
Yeah, man.
Basil
Ooh,
instead of
and
cheetah.
shit.
Cheetahs are good. I like cheetahs quite a bit. But they fall into big cat.
Oh.
So
Here's an odd one. Whales. I want to hang out with a whale of some
whale.
kind.
You want to hang out with a whale? How do you hang out with a whale?
I don't know. I just like to exist in a space with a friendly whale. I think fish
I
are
mean-
interesting. Sharks too. They're not. Neither of those are fish technically, but like both of them are interesting, and they're like sea creatures that I would have a good time hanging around. I think. Good time dragging
Yeah?
and whatnot. But I think that like because like the Georgia Aquarium offers hanging out with their like whale sharks, and whale sharks are like a different thing, of course, but like. Whale sharks are also inclusive on whale to me of like, dude, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Because they're great.
Big motherfuckers.
Elephants. Speaking of big animals, elephants are definitely.
I would hang out with an elephant for sure. For sure.
Man.
Yeah.
You would hang out with
God.
an elephant for sure. I'm realizing this isn't the most fruitful conversation in the world. We're both
No,
just, like,
it isn't.
naming animals, kind of. But I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. God damn it! It's my show.
It's our goddamn show. Yes, it's live. Yes, you have chat input. However,
No, we won't be listening.
It's our
If you tell
goddamn
us to
show.
Stop naming animals and move on with the show. But I think it's about time we, as a host of the show, I think it's about time we move on and stop talking about
I think
animals
so.
and continue the show. Let's lemons and reef sharks. Hell yeah. Where is my topic list, dude? Where's my topic list? New movie.
Gone.
There it is. Found it. King of the Hill revival. King of the Hill got a revival.
Yes,
and, we talked about it last week
indeed.
a little bit because I watched the first two-ish episodes. Two-ish. I don't know why ish. I watched the first 2 episodes and had a pretty good time with it. Had a lot of good things to say about it. I still stand by all those good things I said about it. But I want to hear where you're at with it, Jed. As now that we're like, I'd argue, or I think we're like 4 in, maybe 5.
I think we're 4 or 5 in or something.
We're on episode. We are on episode 5, I believe. Like we will be going into
Yeah.
5 next time we watch it. So we're a good ways into the season to comment on it. How are you feeling as somebody who
I've
didn't
been
watch a lot of
having-
King of the Hill on its original run?
I've been having a really good time with it. It's been a very enjoyable thing. It's more enjoyable now that it's a little bit more modern, where it's like yeah, I relate to Bobby Hale because Jesus Christ, Bobby Hale is only like a year difference from me in age. So of course I relate to Bobby Hill to some degree,
I
and
also
that's
relate
really
to
weird.
Bobby
It's-
Hill for similar reasons.
it's weird
I'm
to
older than
have,
Bobby
like-
Hill, unfortunately.
Yeah, you have to live with the fact that you're older than Bobby Hill. I'm only a year younger than him, so
Yeah,
I don't know, but they also like
older
they
than
seem
Bobby
to
Hill
like
these days.
play up
Anyway.
his age because it's
What do you
like he does not seem 21.
Well, it's because he has
they
like
do
a
that as
functional career, you know? Like he's
Yeah.
like working as a chef in a restaurant he co-owns with like his rich friend, and it's like, dude, this is like a I'm turning 30 soon kind of setup, you know? Usually you sit
Yeah.
around and you fuck around and then you get a job and then you do grunt work for like a decade and then maybe you have a career after that. You know, or you go to college.
Yeah.
And in that case, you'd be in college right now and not running a restaurant. And so it's like, it is an alarmingly early age. Well, alarming. It is a shockingly, at the very least, early age to be in that kind of like a position as an adult. And so it's like, yeah, he definitely comes off very, and he's very mature too. He's like a very like matured character in his way. And like, especially for like a 21-year-old and especially in comparison to other like 20 somethings in the show.
Oh
But-
yeah.
And I feel like that comes off and like he does seem it does age him slightly for it. Yeah. But you know, being 21 and all that, you know. Anyhow, relating to Bobby Hill, that's where you were at.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I think that personally, after watching it, I think it's been a very good. It just feels like another season of King of the Hill. Honestly, like it fits in well. It doesn't feel like it's forced or anything. It's just it is, and it is a good series. And it's nice to have like and we had said this last time where it was like Fiona and Cake is also a good series, but this one is better just because it
But
more
now do you
faithfully
see?
like comes back.
Now do you
And
see what I
totally
mean
agree
about
with
it?
that now.
Like about
Mhm.
how like I don't feel like Fiona and Cake is necessarily a good comparison point because it's kind of an off like a spin-off rather than a continuation, I'd argue.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But this totally does just try to like continue the King of the Hill thing, and I can totally agree that it just does get to keep the vibe of the original somehow. To the point where like I was explaining some of it to my mom, and she was like, "So what? There was a time skip?" And I was like, "No, the show stopped and it got picked up recently. So the time skip is the actual time skip." And it was
Yeah, it's the
funny, but
actual
like
length of time it's been off the air, and the conceit there is that like after we stopped watching, Bobby like got through the rest of high school and started and like once he was old enough that Hank and Peggy ran off to Saudi Arabia apparently to live on a military base for God knows what reason to sell propane.
for selling propane reasons, man.
And now
People
they're
need to sell
retired,
propane
and now
in
they're
Saudi
back.
Arabia.
I guess
Yeah.
so. Well, actually, considering like how like oil rich Saudi Arabia is and whatnot, I'm sure being like a fuel sales guy at like the embassy is probably not a bad position to be in. Like I'm sure that's like a sought
Yeah.
after like dude, I want to manage
They were
the
offering him
propane in like a
wives,
Middle
dude.
Eastern like country somewhere where they like harvest oil. Like I want to go to the source, you know.
I'm gonna go to the source of the propane. Yeah. Oh, there's one episode where like the conceit of it is Bobby cooks with charcoal. And like the
Oh
way
yeah.
that Hank just copes with it is just like a fucking well, maybe they would have used propane if it existed then, but it didn't, so they used charcoal. I
Like
think
that's the
really
cope about it
fucking
is
funny.
just that like well maybe they would have preferred the taste of propane if propane had existed like at the time of this traditional cooking. I liked it with propane the one time you made it with propane for us out of necessity. So like try just doing that. And we haven't watched beyond that. That's the last one we watched. So like I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure that like they just pick up and go to using propane in the restaurant now. Is that the
Oh,
conceit
really?
here? Because like they can't
I
get
don't think
charcoal.
so.
They couldn't find a
Well, no,
charcoal supplier by the end of it.
because the thing is that he invited the charcoal supplier that they did like ask originally there to try his food as like well, if you don't think I'm traditionally Japanese cooking enough, well maybe try my cooking and then tell me if it can be traditional Japanese or not. Like I don't give a shit. Is it good food? Supply me with shit, and he agrees to it. So there is charcoal accessible.
Oh yeah, there is more charcoal.
That was the
accessible. Good.
conceit.
Okay, yeah, then that was just Hank Copen for sure. Then
Yeah, that was just Hank Copen. That was just a funny Hank Cope that I was having a
funny
laugh
Hank.
about.
I love
Funny
that. I
Hank.
love that.
Dude,
Like
how do you
Hank
feel?
has like kind of a catty moment in the middle that I kind of relate to very heavily. Of like, yeah, no, my I got a charcoal setup, not like a propane setup, like the one that I asked you about and that you specifically recommended me. And now it's shit in the bed. Well, let me know when you want me to set up that propane system for you. I can have that right in today. You know, of just like I got all the material. I know exactly what to get. I can do this for you today. I can fix it, and then after I fix it, I get to have my I told you so's about like, dude, this was easier, this was better. Here you go. You know. And then it doesn't work out that
Yeah.
way, of course. It works out in the middle because it's,
Of
it's
course
not
not.
technically the right answer, But it's just like, I fucking like, well, you asked for my advice, and the way you went has led you to failure. Welcome back to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
very
I don't
about
know.
it, of
I
course,
think
because he's
it's.
Hank Hill, but like, still.
Oh yeah. I think it's important that like if you're like if you're right about something, sometimes it's important to be wrong about something first and try it the wrong way first. In my opinion, at least. Maybe that's just 'cause
personal
I'm
experience
stubborn.
will always outweigh somebody telling you the right way to do it and you just doing it that way. The failures you get will give you infinitely more experience than the success you would have had first try. You know?
Yeah.
Make it better.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I'm
like
thinking that further into King of the Hill, I'm thinking that it's just holding up. I think that it's stronger than it was when it finished before. I've still got some issues with the Flanderization of Peggy Hill. That's
I was going to
still an
ask you
issue
about
for
how you
me.
feel about Peggy.
Peggy has
'Cause,
always
like,
kind of been like annoying in that like she's very self-centered, she's not very good at many things. She always claims that she's right even when she's wrong. She is the stubborn character of the show. And that stubbornness often ended up with her looking very stupid in a lot of cases. But coming out of it and going, yeah, that was kind of silly of me. But it seemed, as you got later into King of the Hill, it got to the point where, well, Peggy is set on this and she's completely unreasonable. So we're just going to do it that way and let her do it. And then we're going to do it our own way. And then, well, that'll be our B plot today is Peggy fucking up. And so like late King of the Hill kind of like already Flanderized her a good amount. It's just that coming back on that immediately with a fresh coat of paint feels gross. But it feels like we're headed somewhere with it. I'm getting the very distinct vibe that we're coming up to a boil on Peggy Hill, and we're gonna get a Peggy episode pretty soon. That's my thought.
Yeah, where
we
we just call her the fuck out.
That's like, hey, you're like doing this, this, and this. Maybe you should try to be more reasonable. Maybe you suck and should admit it. You know, when it comes to like this specific thing, not like as a person, but like when it comes to this specific thing. You need to learn to admit that you're wrong or admit that not everybody's gonna like you, and that has to be okay. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I could definitely see that coming. Because it definitely feels exaggerated. I don't know. I had just recently seen the That's My Purse episode. So like, and that one's like an all-timer episode, so it feels almost unfair to compare it to anything in the modern series. However, like
Peggy in that is a much more competent, much more like put together, like member of the family in that episode than she is. Like, in the modern day. Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy how far they've taken it with her character, because her character genuinely feels like she is there to like play contrarian and say Saudi Arabia a million times, and it's like that's my one complaint about the series. Is like I really hope we do something with Peggy. But again, it feels intentional, like how insufferable Peggy has been in this season, you know.
Yeah. And it's not even that she's that bad overall. It's just that like we know what this character can look like, and this ain't it for sure.
Yeah.
But like I feel like this is an accurate portrayal of Peggy Hill to some degree, but this is only like it's a very incomplete picture of Peggy Hill because she hasn't been the focus of any of these stories yet. And so it's sort of like how like Red versus Blue is just like, oh yeah, some days we have depth. Other days, I'm the guy with the sniper rifle, and he's the guy who can't have it, you know. And those are our personality traits. Like I am the loud and mean one, and he's the sex one, and that one over there is the dumb one. And then tomorrow we're gonna like fight the government and give a very like well like done plan out and execute it flawlessly in combat, and then have a big speech at the end where we all come out of it looking very good and very smart. And then the episode after that, next episode, we're gonna be running around back to like I'm bad with the sniper rifle and I'm mad about it and you're annoying the piss out of me and that guy over there is stupid. You know? We're gonna be right back to it.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
It's like that's how this feels right now. It feels like very mean spirited and very like not mean spirited, I guess, but untrue to the character, but true to certain parts of the character. Like, I need to remind you that in the original series, Peggy Hill was a substitute Spanish teacher and she was bad at it.
Yeah.
Like, she did not know a lick of Spanish one way or the other, you know? And so, like, it really tracks for her as a character, but it's like...
It makes sense,
It's like coming home for the first time in a while and going, wow, Ma, I didn't know you were like this when I saw you every day, you know?
Yeah, yeah. When it was
so that's
when
how
it was
feels.
just
It's like,
yeah,
that's why it doesn't get
that's
to me.
her.
That's why it doesn't get to me as part of the show, is because it's just like, I don't know. I've been watching King of the Hill since I was a kid, with like older family members. It's like one of these like Simpsons-esque shows that you can just sort of watch with your kids with very minimal
Mhm.
alteration to it, like, and very little of the like, all right, cover your ears. But like,
Yeah, yeah.
there's an amount of that, sure, but like for the most part you can just watch it. And so these characters, I've grown up with these characters. I love these characters, and maybe that adds to it for me. But generally speaking, I'd say that King of the Hill is very like comfort food coded, and it's very like homey and safe, and like very much like just kind of being at home. Like when I'm watching an episode of King
Yeah.
of the Hill, I feel like a member of the Hill household for like just a minute. And then we step outside to the alleyway, and I feel like I'm there with those guys for a minute of just like, yeah, no. This, in the sense that these are realistic enough depictions of what having a modern family that with a slight conservative lean, but like we don't like hate anybody, We just like are
Mhm.
like the 2008 I want my house to be cheaper and my rent to go down kind of conservative, And not the like I
Yeah,
want you to go
yeah,
down
exactly.
and be in like a prison camp forever. But like, it
Yeah.
feels like coming home to like, man, these guys folksy. I'll say that it's folksy almost. I don't folksy kind of
Mhm.
like, dude, I think the word folksy gets overused as almost like to say like southern in like a derogatory way. Like folksy gives such like a
Yeah.
straw hat, banjo, no shirt, overalls, no shoes. Howdy, y'all! I got 4 teeth kind of situation. But it's like, no, I don't mean it like that at all. I
Yeah.
mean that it's got a lot of heart, at the middle of it, and it feels
Yeah.
it feels analog enough to the good parts of coming home to see the family that like I feel very comforted by this new season. I'm happy to hear that
Yeah.
Bobby is in a good position with his like job and shit. I'm happy to hear that like Hank and Peggy are all right. I love to see that like all that Dale is still doing what Dale does. And like so
Yeah.
like it's a good mix of that for me, honestly. For at risk of sounding kind of weirdly attached and parasocial to these characters, which is not the case at all, by the way. It's just these are just the vibes that I get, you know,
Mhm.
on this new show that is
Yeah.
on Hulu, which is now Disney Plus. You want to talk about that?
Oh man, monopolies.
Because you have a conspiracy
Do.
about that.
But I do have a conspiracy about this. So I've been using Hulu. We like right before the Switch have had like every single thing that we watch is on Hulu. And so like Hulu has progressively, and I've noticed this, has just gone to like, okay, I guess we're just pausing the player now. Okay, I guess the player's muted and we're buffering. Okay, we're back to it and we're buffering. Okay, these captions don't work. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, fine, fine. They say most of the Hulu catalog is on Disney. Let's see, let's find out. Full Metal Alchemist, yep, that's on there. Guys, Grocery Games, yep, that's on there. Okay, well, no, yeah, there's pretty much everything on Hulu on here. All right, well, let's give it a shot. And I'm not kidding
Everything we
you, it
watch, yeah.
works better on Disney Plus. Like,
The Disney Plus player is
I'm
fantastic.
serious about it.
I hate to give Disney credit.
I'm such a conspiracy theorist, but like, God, they're killing Hulu. They're killing Hulu to like genuinely force people force people's hands to just stop using Hulu preemptively, which
only
is a
problem-
good idea business wise.
Sorry, the only problem that I have, I'm getting into like differences between video players. We can finish your point first. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get there.
No. It's just that like Hulu, they're very, like, to me at least, it's very obvious that they are like planned obsolescencing Hulu very quickly and very rapidly. The same day that they announced is that like because also their advertising has gone to Hulu on Disney Plus. Like they don't say Hulu anymore. You want to talk about that? Go ahead. Yeah, let's get into it.
They still say Hulu. I've been on TikTok a lot, and I've been seeing a lot of ads because of that. And so a lot of the ads that I'm seeing are things like, oh yeah, the new season of King of the Hill, and Futurama, and Family Guy, and South Park, all available together in our animation domination shit over on Hulu in big ass letters, and then on Disney Plus under it occasionally. It's like very clearly like marketing material that was made before the merger was finalized, and they're still just kind of running a lot of it. And so it's like very weird to me that it's like, well, why are we Why didn't we bother to do that? Why didn't we bother to like go like, oh, it's on Disney Plus, go watch it? It feels weird to launch a new season of King of the Hill as King of the Hill on Hulu and Futurama on Hulu when they're not gonna be on Hulu because Hulu won't exist by the time the next season comes out. You know?
Yeah, genuinely. Like, I don't know. It's because Hulu was used in my business course to teach us what, like, so sometimes bigger companies will split off with other companies and make a smaller company, like Hulu, away from Disney. And I learned this, and then, like, I got to have this information going into, like, by the way, Disney's, like, super monopolized everything, and now everything is on Hulu, and now that Hulu is gone, it's all on Disney Plus. And it's hell unfortunate, especially to see Disney do it, because it's like, of course Disney would do it because they have the money to do it. However, damn, why couldn't it be Netflix? Netflix at least earned it. Netflix has been in this space since the beginning, you know?
Yeah, but like Hulu is like the Touchstone Pictures of Disney's streaming venture. Do you know about this?
I don't know.
So Disney owns a company called Touchstone Pictures, which was news to me that was a Disney-owned company. It makes complete sense now that I know it, but it was news to me at the time. And basically what Touchstone Pictures was, hey, the current owner of the Disney, or the current CEO of the Disney Corporation, would like it if we started making more young adult to adult themed movies, like stuff that's like maybe rated like for teenagers and up or for adults, you know, like rated R. But we don't want to do that as Disney because Disney is The Lion King and Cinderella and The Little Mermaid and this and that and all the Pixar stuff too. Later on, of course, after this decision was made. But so they were like, well, what do we do? Start a second production house and basically run it the same as we do our existing one, except like if a movie is designated as not quite fitting the Disney brand, it goes to Touchstone Pictures. And we release it as Touchstone Pictures instead.
God damn.
And so that's what Hulu was for a very long time, was I want to get into this streaming thing. I don't want to slap the Disney name on it, because if we go slapping the Disney name on too early, then, and this whole like streaming thing turns out to be a fad, we're all going to look stupid. So let's just call it Hulu. Let's make Hulu instead. Let's branch out. Let's do it as a separate company. And then Hulu, once Disney Plus existed, became the place that they would just kind of throw like Family Guy and all the Fox stuff and like anything else that they acquired that was like I don't know that I want that associated with the Disney name to be on Disney Plus, you know? So let me just put that on Hulu. And now Hulu is going away, so Disney kind of just has to bite that bullet now of like, yeah, Disney is everything, and we just have to own that Disney is everything. Which sucks.
Yeah.
It does suck. I didn't know that all those years ago when like Hulu and Netflix and HBO were the options, and then we got Disney as like a fourth one. Like once there started to be 3 or 4 of them, I was like, ever since then I had been preaching, please God, please find a way to make one streaming service win and all the other ones die. And then the monkeys all curled and Disney got a new monopoly. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I could have not been any closer in on knowing, unfortunately. But it's alright. It turned out okay. I hate it. I hate that they're a monopoly. But
I hate it.
They do have the better video player, and their website is one of the easier ones to navigate. So, I mean, I guess a net win for the user, even though it's going to be a net loss for society.
Yeah, I guess so. Sadly, Disney winning means we all win, but none of us really do.
Yeah, no, well, Disney winning means that I, the individual, win. I, the member of society that would like monopolies to not hold everything, loses. You know?
Yeah, of course.
Like,
of
super
course,
heavy.
yeah.
And that I applies to, like, everybody. Like, I win, everybody, myself included, loses.
Yep. Sorry, everybody. Hate to break it to you guys. We all lose.
One small
today.
step for man and 2 steps back for mankind. But anyhow, that was Disney's now Hulu. Or Hulu's now Disney. Fuck. Hulu is now Disney. And HBO Max is now just Max, except now it's HBO Max again. And Netflix
We're back
is
to HBO Max.
$12 more expensive.
Yep. Hulu has a $3.
Another day in the streaming world, dude. Another day.
Streaming service now called Howdy or something.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't looked at whatever's on their page. However,
Speaking
I
of-
hope it's good, just for like,
Yeah.
Speaking of
TV, Vince Gilligan finally has started releasing teasers for his sci-fi show. I forgot that was this week. Like, I forgot that was within the week.
Oh,
of
yeah?
now. Like, but yeah, late last week, like after we recorded the show, but just after, so it's within this week's of topics.
Mhm.
The Vince Gilligan released like a little smiley face, like in like a petri dish promo, and then like a 30-second clip, very good cinematography of a woman like opening a box of donuts at like a public place, and then like alone in the dark and just grabbing each one and giving one good lick across the bottom and then stamping it back down. Apparently this is about disease and about germs or something in some way, some kind of virus or something. We know it's a sci-fi show. He said he wanted to do something superhero related, so maybe there will be some kind of metahuman stuff involved. But we do know for a fact that it stars Ray Seahorn, actress for Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul, who was an absolute breakout in that show. And can we just keep leapfrogging, Vince? Like, we did Better Call Saul because, like, one of our actors on Breaking Bad was really good. And now we're doing this show because one of our actors on Better Call Saul was really good. And I also had an idea.
Just keep doing
Who's going to be the standout in this show to get the lead on the next show? Do you think people are coming into these auditions for this show hoping it'll be them? Like, do you think that's a thing that people are considering? Maybe. It is a pattern at this stage if you pay any amount of, like, interest toward what Vince is doing. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of hope that he does continue to leapfrog because it causes this, like...
It's great.
Not necessarily... It makes it cohesive without making all of the things you make one product.
Yeah, and also it's good for the industry.
Stuff.
Because it's like, yeah, Bob Odenkirk has been on 2 of the best shows ever because of Vince Gilligan, and now Bob Odenkirk is absolutely everywhere. He was in Nobody 2 recently. I've got that up on the list. I want to talk about Nobody 2 a little bit, I think. As a movie we haven't seen, but a movie to talk about, I guess. But, like, he's everywhere now, and then Ray Seahorn did, because Bryan Cranston did Breaking Bad. Obviously, he's the star of the show, and it's the best show on television right now, according to, like, everybody at the time. And then it becomes, like, of course he's gonna be a hitter, but just about every member of that cast was in super high demand after the show ended. Like, people wanted to see more of Aaron Paul as Jesse. I wasn't forgetting his name. I'm forgetting Hank. Dean Norris. People wanted to see more Dean Norris. People wanted to see more Giancarlo Esposito. People wanted to see more of this guy, more of that guy, more of her, more of him, more of them, you know. And then Better Call Saul happens, and people love the hell out of Chuck, which is like obvious because like Michael McKean is already like a successful actor at, you know, the midpoint of his career, and so like I wouldn't necessarily say that. But Better Call Saul ends, and people want more of actors, breakout actors in it, like Tony Dalton, who's been also like Bob Odenkirk in the industry a while, but just hadn't quite had a good hitter in a very long time. And now people want Tony Dalton. People want the guy who played Nacho, who also was the guy from Far Cry 3. People want him real bad, and people still want Giancarlo, and still want Bob Odenkirk, and like now people want Ray Seahorn too, who seems to be the Bob of this particular production when it comes to moving on to the next one and getting to be the star. And so, like, and even all of the actors in that show, all the main players, the guy who played Howard, a lot of these names are slipping my mind because I haven't involved myself with the show in a bit in terms of, like, acting and getting behind those guys. But, like, you know, it's a lot of these names just keep reappearing because of Vince's work and the fact that, like, Vince is giving them repeat work in a lot of cases, usually in varied roles from one show to the next, you know? Depending on if you've played a major character or not, because of course you can't just bring the guy who played Gus back as a different guy, you know, because it's a prequel.
Of course,
but, like a lot of these actors have had a lot of screen time to really like show their muscle in terms of acting and really like flex that. And I think that Vince Gilligan has a lot to do with that in like his casting choices, and I think he's a very good scouter of talent, or whoever he has scouting the talent for him is doing a really good job before he gets to like narrow down to the final pick, or both. Most likely, I'm going for both. They're both probably really good at their jobs. Yeah, but honestly, Speaking of things that mean everybody wins, new Vince Gilligan produced television is a win for society. I think that's a cultural win right now. Well, I can't think of a single bad thing he's ever worked on. I haven't seen his stuff from the X-Files, mind you, but like I've seen both of the shows he ran, and both of them are genuinely. I don't think I've seen a single show that stands up, honestly, to Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul as like a live-action drama. You know. Or period. At all, really. I don't know anything. Like, even my favorite show of all time, Doctor Who, it is not nearly as good of a product. I'll say that. It's a good product. It's damn good, and it's really good for different reasons. But as far as, like, pointing somebody in a direction and going, this is the single best piece of television you will ever see, and showing them a show, it's Breaking Bad. Every time. And if it's not Breaking Bad, it's Better Call Saul. They take up the number 1 and 2 slots very easily, for me at least, and for most of society too, it seems. So it's like I'm not alone in that camp at all. And so I'm sure we're looking at something else that hits the top 10. That's my hope, is that we're looking at something else that reaches my top 10 television shows of all time. Severance is up there.
So can we think about the Dark Universe for a moment? That this show comes out and it blows like really hard. And like the only like that's gonna be really sad because of this. Like now that you're saying it, you're right. Vince Gilligan hasn't put out anything that I would say is like even close to bad, is anything other than good. So like part of me is like, Vince, retire now. Retire now. Don't do anything else. Just let it be. But I have a feeling it's going to be good. Licking donuts sounds like a good time.
Yeah, that is the thing about it. The thing about it is that like I am so sure that I'm right on this. Weirdly enough, I am so sure that I would be willing to put something on it.
Oh, I'm sure you're right about this too. Even like I was just posing that because it's like
posing it. Yeah, posing it as a hypothetical after I've done all this like talking up is absolutely like awful to think about. But like it is a true possibility, I guess. But part of the reason I'm so sure is because it's like it's not just a Vince Gilligan project. It's from the same production house that made both of those shows. With,
oh shit! Is
like
it really
90% the same production crew that he had on Breaking Bad, like season 3 and on. And so, like, it is the exact. We're looking at what is indisputably the next best thing, you know. And so it's like it won't be more like Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, but I'm so sure because of the people working on it and because of like people like Tom Schnauz and people like Mark Margolis and people like what is his name? I forget. I don't know, but there are several people involved in that production whose names are currently on this that I can point to and go, "Oh man, that person works way too hard and has way too good of a track record to fuck this up." You know? And so the teasers look good too. The teaser showed me all I need to see of it to know that it's like, cuz like you can look at that teaser and go, "Did the guys who made Better Call Saul do this?" And it's like less than a minute long.
Oh goddamn!
Like you can tell, and no dialogue is spoken.
You can just see
not a word. You can just see it in the way that it's shot in Albuquerque too. They're shooting in Albuquerque again. I don't know that it takes place in Albuquerque, but we're shooting in New Mexico again. In the Albuquerque area for a lot of it. So that's
they gave him a statue, dog.
I mean, yeah, and
like again, they gave him a statue in their town hall.
To hear people tell it, I don't know enough about New Mexico politics, but like to hear people tell it, Vince Gilligan like revitalized the economy in Albuquerque pretty heavy with the things that he produced.
Yeah.
To the point where I think he said at one point that if I ever make something in Albuquerque set in the modern day, we're gonna have to do a lot of work to make it like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul didn't also come out. You know, because the effects of Breaking Bad coming out on the Albuquerque area are pretty heavy, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because, like, I don't know. I just being in the Albuquerque area, because I just drove through it recently.
Mm-hmm.
Stopping at I saw fucking Heisenberg stopping at a gas station. Like genuinely, he's everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is it kind of makes me frustrated from the perspective of like, God damn it, Heisenberg kind of gets to win in real life. Like, yeah, you know, his story is his story still in the show. However, in real life, he gets to
However,
continue on.
in reality, he gets to kind of be like the symbol of like a badass drug dealer that he wanted to be, even though he's like a loser who intimidates his wife and like sells drugs and like all this and that. You know, like the several reasons. I don't even think you can say all of the things that make Walter White a bad person on Twitch.
No, you can't. I mean,
this guy paid
that
another guy to set a guy on fire in prison.
Yeah, man.
That's
yeah.
like,
do you think
there
Pontiac
you go.
Aztec sales went up?
I don't know that mattered because Pontiac was dead by the time the show came out.
It was
I think people
dead,
bought more,
but like I'm just curious on like the
more have been
uptick on
sold
used
since.
Pontiacs.
Yeah, I think used Pontiac Aztecs are like, I feel like, let's just say this. If I saw Breaking Bad in the current year and was driving or not in the current year, but as it was releasing, and was driving a shitty Pontiac Aztec that I got before they went under, brand new, and feeling real downer about my decision, I think by the time season 3 comes out, I'm selling that fucking car for as much as I can get, and somebody definitely is paying for it. You know? Hell, I might even go through the process of having it painted the right color, because apparently they didn't sell them in that color. That's a color they didn't offer that car in.
Interesting.
Which is like that,
it's
like sort of
such a
sand
terrible
yellow color. I don't mind it.
It's
honestly.
kind of a green.
It is green. It is a green. They say green in the show at one point, but it is a very sandy green.
Yeah.
Hell, they sold that Pontiac Aztec on the show very easily. Like, there's a scene of the show where he needs to get rid of the car, and he goes to the guy, and he's like, "You broke your windshield again?" And he goes, "Yep, it just kind of happens." And then the guy was like, "Well, I could fix that for you, or we could just, like, junk it and get you a new one." And he goes, "Yeah, you know what? Don't junk it, but you can buy it off me if you want it." And he goes, "Wait, really? Fuck, I'll take it. How much?" And he goes, "Yeah, just like, I don't know. I was like $1. He goes, "Okay. All right, sure." And he just like, this guy just like is very happily having this car. Mind you, it was because it was like a really good deal. It wasn't because it was a Pontiac Aztec. But I just got that scene in my head of like, yeah, no, I'm sure they did go up because they sold one on the goddamn show.
Oh man, actually incredible story here about like giving shit for free to people like that. So recently we had to get some movers going, and we have a granite topped kitchen table. It was my stepdad's idea. It is 300 and some odd pounds. And it stands like it's top heavy. I'll just say that. I had to move that into the garage alone, and I have been dreading the day because it's just been sitting in the garage, because what the fuck else am I gonna do with the 350-pound slab of granite, you know? And my mom hires these movers, and they come into our garage, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's a nice dining table." And she's like, "You like it?" And he was like, "Yeah." And she went, "Well, that can be your tip then. If you are able to get you and your guys who are already moving this heavy furniture back to your house, if you're able to do that, you're welcome to have it." And it finally got off our hands, and I didn't have to lift a finger about it, and I'm so happy, because that thing has been like looming over me as like, one day you're gonna have to fucking lift this granite slab. Yeah, man.
You're gonna offload one of your household chores as like I'm gonna put this big slab in my fucking car, and I'm gonna have to like take it somewhere and sell it or move it. Ugh. We're gonna have to either find a place for it or sell it, and I gotta do it. What's that? This guy wants it? Yeah, man. Take a tip. Why not? Yeah. How generous of me, right?
Don't get me wrong.
Have fun lifting it, you know?
It is like a very expensive kitchen table. Just
I'm sure it's nice, but to you it's a burden, and to him, you know, another man's trash and whatnot.
Exactly, because he was like a 20-something, and he was talking about how he had just moved into his new house and he was looking for a dining table.
Perfect.
So like that's why my mom was like, "Oh yeah, here, you want this one? Take it." And like he was super hype about it. But I love those situations where it's like everybody's hype about like, all right, it's out of my garage now, and that's fucking fantastic. And now you have a really nice table.
Yeah. I buy a lot of stuff like that because I'm into a lot of vintage stuff, and I'm into like looking on Facebook Marketplace when I probably shouldn't be, realistically.
Mhm.
And sometimes I find a good deal, and it's awesome because it's the same situation where it's like, yeah, man, I'm in the market for this, and it's like, dude, oh my god, I've had one of those in my attic 6 months. Finally listed it like a couple weeks ago. I didn't think anybody would respond. You can take it. What price?
You want it? Have it.
You name it. If you like, and it's like, where do you want to meet? And I go, I can come get it if you want. You're only like 20 minutes from me. You can come get it. Take it. Yes. If you can come today within the hour, you can just have it. And I've done this for like things that are like $10, and I've done this for things that are like fucking listed as like over 100 before. And it's like, yeah, man. You just kind of get free stuff if it's a heavy enough object and is cumbersome enough to somebody for one reason or another. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, they like it just like one man's trash, another man's treasure is perfectly apt for it. Because it's like, I don't know. Like, I want to get into arcade machines because those are so big on that, like, fucking, oh, yeah, this is, I've been
wheel
running
it out of here.
Yeah, take it. Fucking take it and leave. I don't care.
Because between paying me for the machine like, and paying for a trailer to haul it off with, go get the trailer. You can have it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. But anyway, new Vince Gilligan series.
Have not
That's gonna be fun. We've not had?
Well, like, I have not had all that much of a different time, this being live. I kind of forgot that we were live, honestly, so...
yeah, no, I've been keeping up with the
live
chat
episode.
and chiming in occasionally with them, and it's like, yeah, no, it's, it's honestly not that bad. It's not that bad to do it live. In fact, I'm almost more at ease while live of just like, well, if I make a mistake,
I don't know why.
I can't hit the pause button on it. So if I make a mistake, it's just a mistake that exists and you gotta roll on, That's where my comfort lies with this, of like, dude, it's so great to be on the show and not have the risk of like, well, if we fuck it up, like, yeah, we're like an hour and a half in now, but if we fuck it up now, we're gonna have to stop and then start and then record for 20 minutes and then stop again, And so it's gonna be a pain.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, here it's like, sure, there's a little more dead air and a little more wiggle room on it, but like generally, it's pretty much a normal recording session.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It is funny how like I also feel the like at ease of being live because it takes it instead of like pausing to just like oh my bad. Anyway, nothing we can do about that now, and like I don't have to think about okay, what do we do now? Are we resetting? Are we doing this? But what were you saying? Do you have something to go into?
I have something to go into in that while we're in visual media, we got a new look at the new Spider-Man movie. Have you seen the set photos that have been coming out?
I've seen like a set photo, but nothing like super crazy or anything.
I encourage you to Google for these that came out today while I'm talking. We got confirmation that there's going to be symbiote stuff in the movie. There's going to be Scorpion and the Punisher in the movie. But a lot of the images I've been seeing are genuinely of just Spider-Man swinging around. And, like there are shots of Spider-Man swinging through New York or stopping to talk to somebody, like, while hanging on a wall. And, like, clearly, like, scened things. But, like, the way they're done, I've been getting a lot of edits of these photos where they edit the crew out and edit the crane holding him up out. And it's just like, holy shit, that is just Spider-Man, huh? Even with the crane in shot. Because he does have to, like, actually do the motions, of course. Like, he's really, like, that high in the air doing that, So, and so it's, like, really interesting and fun to watch. There's a stunt guy in the suit, of course.
Well, yeah, of course.
Like, for, like, the stunt bits. But we're still doing Tom Holland. Yeah, we're still in Tom Holland Spider-Man. They gave him a new suit with raised webbing. You'd be forgiven for not noticing.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're taking a real comic accuracy turn. Have you seen the Punisher's costume?
I've not seen the Punisher's costume. No,
But they're going very
really
comic accurate because it's the guy from The Walking Dead, like they had in the Daredevil series. Like they're just doing him again as the Punisher still because it's the MCU and that's just who our Punisher is. Except they've gone out of their way to put him in the big skull T-shirt and like the big ass belt with a bunch of stuff on it and the massive like military cargo pants and the big boots.
Yeah,
and like they've done his hair and like makeup enough to look just like the guy. And the photo of him is genuinely just John Bernthal. That's the guy, the actor, standing like back straight, arms at his side, like almost at attention, but fists balled and just eyeballing the camera. And it's like, dude, that's the goddamn Punisher.
That's so Punisher. That's so good.
That's the like fucking
I love
Punisher, dude. John Bernthal is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite secondary cast actors, I think. So I tried watching the Punisher series, and I just couldn't get into it. Not because of his acting, but because he's just a distracting guy to have on screen all the time. Like, he's, like, a good actor, but he's such a particular personality. It's like the Norman Reedus effect, where, like, you get into a thing with Norman Reedus, and it's like, holy shit, there's Norman Reedus. Oh, it's Norman Reedus doing a thing. There you go. But eventually that fades away with stuff like Death Stranding and other things that he's in. I never disappear that with John Bernthal. Like, every time I see him, I go, let me tell you something, man. You know? And, like, that's just where I'm at. And he acts almost every character he plays the same way because he gets very typecast as these, like, very, like, brash, harsh guys. And he's good at it. He's really good at it. But
he is.
Like, I just see him as like John Bernthal. Like that's just who that is, you know.
Like, yeah, because like I don't know if I walk into a movie with John Bernthal in it, I know exactly what I'm getting, and that's gonna be like a.
It's always the product as delivered, yeah. Like product as expected
like it's
was
always
delivered.
what is wanted, but
like I find him,
John Bernthal can be a lot.
He can be a lot. But I like him as the Punisher. I did like his portrayal of the Punisher. As far as, like... I think the Punisher show is also just pretty bad, too, from what I hear. I didn't have a great time with it. I fell off it pretty fast. I only saw, like, the first, like, 3 or 4 episodes. But apparently it's just... That character just does not... That character, in the way the MCU wanted to sort of, like, tame him a little bit and bring him in just a touch... That character doesn't work if you bring him in at all. And so, like, once you start reining in the Punisher, you've got something other that isn't as interesting, you know? The Punisher, like, I've tried reading runs of the Punisher comics, and I'm always super intrigued, because they spend, like, this guy's got beef with everybody, and everybody is kind of scared of him, in the way that they're scared of Batman, except, like, this guy will just shoot you in the fucking face. That's it. End all be all, no thought about it. And he wants to, man. He's fiending for it. Like, he's foaming at the mouth, spit flying out of his mouth, trying to get to a police officer as soon as possible. Man.
Yeah, man. No, but, like, John Bernthal honestly deserves the role. He's broken his nose, like, 7 times or something.
You can tell, yeah.
Like, one of which is, like, you can definitely fucking see it. But to the point where, like, what's his name? Andrew Lincoln broke his nose on the set of The Walking Dead, and it was genuinely just like, oh shit, I did that, I'm sorry. And like, it was just like, that was time number like 6 or something. So I guess after breaking your nose 6 times, you're just like, yeah, fuck it.
Well, isn't it a thing where, like, if you break your nose because it's all cartilage, you really only have to, like, if you broke a finger, like, just kind of, like, set it and leave it, and then it'll just heal fine. And so it's like, yeah, of course, it's not that big of a deal in the slightest to break your nose. It hurts like a motherfucker the first time, I bet. But I'm sure once you get to 6, it's fine. Like, but health-wise, on paper, it's not really a big deal to do anything about. Like, it takes, like, 2 seconds to... Alright, I'm good.
Oh, yeah, you know? Like, it's not dangerous for him to, like, ignore it, but, you know.
No, I think it's not an unwarranted reaction once you're used to the pain to go, like, fuck, man, you broke my nose. Really? Damn it. Oh, well. You know? It's not like an unfair reaction, I think, for being 6 or 7 deep,
Dude, Andrew Lincoln apparently just has issues pulling his punches. He just
he's like everybody on the Walking Dead cast.
If my co-star,
Dude, have you heard interviews where they talk about it? I'm sure you have. Where other cast members talk about it,
They
like
all
Norman Reedus will
laugh.
talk about it. They all laugh, but they laugh in that way where it's like, if I weren't laughing, I would be going off about how much I hate working with this fucking guy because he does this. You know? It always seems like that nervous, like, haha, we're on TV with Jimmy Fallon, so I probably shouldn't get into how much I actually genuinely kind of hate it that he does that. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, always, like, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it always feels
funny.
like that kind of a laugh to me. I think it's funny, too, because he doesn't mean to, I bet.
definitely reads
Like, he talks like he doesn't mean to, but it's like, dude, get better. Come on.
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know he did it, is the issue. It's like...
they don't tell him?
Because, like... No, often, that's why, like, that scene, I think they went with the take where he broke his nose. It's that scene where they're fighting outside of the school, and they're, like, throwing each other around into school buses and shit. I'm pretty sure he actually did break his nose in that scene, because what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to act like you got punched in the face, and goddamn you did. And it came out as a good scene, so of course we're gonna fucking use it. Like, for the same reason why, like,
bloodied,
on Severance,
broken fucking nose on the screen for a scene, yeah, I want to use that take. That's... Because from a director's point of view, from somebody who, like, directs things and gets in the director headspace a lot when watching media, of just like, well, how do you direct this? How do you get past this? If one of the actors gets hurt and he's, like, fine, you use that take. That's the one you, like, legally gotta use now, pretty much, for the sake of, like, somebody got for real hurt and you can always tell. Even as an audience member, not knowing that he got for real hurt, not even looking at his nose even once during that scene, it felt subconsciously more real, I'm sure, in the moment, for the sake of, God damn, that guy must have gotten hurt. Because they're acting like they got hurt a lot better than, like, somebody who didn't get hurt. Because they got hurt, you know? When the punches land, whether you can tell or not, you know, that's what I've learned with wrestling a lot, is that, like, the punches landing, whether you see them land or not, matters a lot for, like, the enjoyment of the thing. You know?
What's his name? The lead, Adam Scott. Adam Scott got a goddamn concussion while filming fucking Severance. And that scene, I remember us watching it at the point where he got a concussion. We all audibly just did like, oh, Jesus.
Because you can hear it. The sound design was so good. Apparently, they didn't even use like a sound effect. They just amplified the noise that was already there. It made such a... like a very loud, low crunch of like, yeah, your like cranium has a crack in it now, you know?
Yeah.
And so it felt very right.
Oh, man.
Because Drummond, I don't know who his actor's name is, but the character of Drummond
Olaf
had like... Olaf Olafsson, thank you. Olaf Olafsson, with his like hands the size of like Jesus Christ knows what, grabbed him around the head, hands about the size of the circumference of Adam Scott's head, evidently, grabs him, and his fingers grabbing him at the back of his head where his hair roots meet. His fingers are bordering the guy's face pretty much all the way around from grabbing him on the back of the head, and then he grabs him, and he just takes him and fucking just slams him into the wall like that. And you can tell. Yeah. Like, that is one of the most... Because you're close in enough that it's like you see it, you hear it, there's blood a little bit. Like, there's, like, not blood, but there's, like, swelling. There's blood rushing to this guy's forehead very fast in the scene. Dude, it's bad. Like, by the time they cut to the next shot of the scene, you can see, like, a welt forming right there. It's rough.
Yeah. Yeah, and poor, Olafur Olafsson is
Olafur Olafsson, my bad.
But they call him Dari, and that's his middle name. But he felt so bad about it. He was like, yeah, I you know... He felt really bad, and what was his... How did I already lose it? The name of the lead character in Severance, the guy who I talked about for like months earlier. Thank you. He had to just be like, no, it's fine, it was good. It was my bad.
Mm-hmm.
But
because the guy was supposed to slam him full force, and he was supposed to reach his hand up to put it between his head and the wall, so his hand and like forearm took the impact. His hand went too high too fast and just overshot. So his hand goes over him, and you just hear the thunk of his head hitting, like you hear the of his head hitting and the thunk of his hand hitting the wall immediately afterward.
And the best part about that,
within a frame, you watch him go from hand balled on the wall like it should be for the scene to gripping his own forehead in anguish. Like, genuinely
Yeah,
that
exactly. Like, human reaction time to pain can never be acted in that way. Because it's genuinely, it's so accurate. Because he just, like,
fast. It's
puts his
too
hand to his
fast,
head, like,
yeah.
am I okay?
Like, that is the kind of grip you get on yourself where you've just taken a hitter. Because I had that same grip on myself when I, like, went head over heels into the fucking dirt a couple months ago. I had that same moment where you pick yourself up, and you grab yourself by the forehead and you, like, take a moment, eyes shut, to assess and go, am I good? You know? And, like, right yourself if you are. And then if you're not good, that's where you find out, you know?
Yeah, that's where you go, oh god, I'm not, let's go to the hospital.
Yeah.
That feeling of that like, oh god, I'm not okay, I'm going to have to go to the hospital is the worst. Because you get all the feelings whenever you do that. You get the, oh fuck me, I'm gonna have to go deal with the hospital staff, and then you get the, oh god, am I gonna have to get stitches, or like what if it's worse? And then you get the, oh fuck me, the hospital, dude. Last time I was at the hospital, I got sick because there was somebody sick. And they were just coughing everywhere, dude.
Dude,
And
yeah,
like,
I can tell you,
all
because
in the moment
I was
where you
just
have your
there for
finger
that
split
reason.
open.
Of, like, I had that with my head, where, like, my head, like, imagine that, but the whole time it's like, oh god, I just hit my head really hard. It is fucking swimming up here, dude. I'm really, like, I'm catching myself, like, wobbly because I, like, hit my head. It's real bad. And the lights are too high, and the noise is too loud, and it's all overstimulating. Again, because I just fucking took a hitter. And then, like, oh shit, I have to get an MRI? They have to put me in a goddamn magnet now? Okay. Which is not something that I have a problem with. Those fucking MRIs make me anxious. Like, the MRI machine makes me vaguely anxious in that same, like, maybe it will malfunction and that will be bad for me kind of way. But, like, it's fine, you know, in a lot of cases. Like, I've done this since I was 6, so the process of it, I know exactly how it goes. I did this, like, 2 times when I was, like, 6 for, like, different brain scan reasons. And so, like, as an adult, it's like, oh, yeah, like, that thing that I did when I was 7, sure, I'll do another one. You know, I can go for, it's like a 10-minute in and out. There we go. I'm not even in a gown this time, so I don't have to hide my balls. Awesome. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Once you've
like,
done
the concern
it,
that time was, is my belt loop real metal? I hope not. It's
you
not.
should be fine.
I didn't think it was. Well, it's like a shitty, like, bronze alloy on the outside, and then like a hard plastic on the inside. So that's not gonna go anywhere. But I was like, man, is this like bronze alloy all the way, or brass alloy all the way through, or you know?
Or am I about to get like sucked into the machine?
Am I about to be that guy with the chain that got fucked by that hospital, by the way? Did we talk about that on the show?
God damn. I don't think we talked about that.
No, we talked about it on stream, because the first time I talked about it on stream, the first time I talked about it on stream was, oh man, this guy's like a fucking stooge. What an idiot, walking around with a 20-pound chain on his neck into an MRI machine.
We thought he broke in, is what they had said.
Like, they had, like, the story at the time was this fucking idiot got in and got sucked into it with a 20-pound chain around his neck. Oh, what really bad happenstance. And then once, like, the hospital's PR team was done with it, the story very quickly came out that it was like, no, they said I was okay to walk in there.
His wife was getting an MRI, and then the technician said, yes, you should be fine, and let him through. Even because he was doing a workout, he didn't take the chain off of his neck, because honestly, if my wife was going to the hospital, I probably would also forget about what I was doing and just get to, like, okay, we're going now. So, like, yeah, no shit. And that's it's tragic, because that was like I had a good laugh about, like, haha, what the fuck, what kind of motherfucker walks in breaks in with a chain.
Yeah.
It like implicated the whole world into, like, laughing at somebody who died, like, tragically.
Like, I felt like I just found out about, like, the McDonald's coffee thing, where it's like, no, that woman's coffee really was that hot that it was worth suing McDonald's over for safety standards. Like, genuinely, that was a legitimate suit that McDonald's corporate tried to convince everybody was, like, foolish and stupid, and haha, coffee's gonna be hot, idiot. Except to a whole nother degree, because a guy died. And so this guy dies, and the, like, the time between his death and, I assume, like, what standard would be the funeral less than a week later, it was, like, full of the internet just going, haha, what an idiot who died being an idiot doing something stupid. And then, like, his, like, lasting memory for, I'm sure a lot of people didn't get the other half of that like we did and are still laughing about that guy. Like, his lasting legacy now is forever tainted as the idiot with a 20-pound chain who actively walked into a magnet of his own volition, knowing what he was getting himself into. Where it's like, that's not the story, and that is pretty sad, I think.
That's not the story at all. Yeah. Because it's like, his wife was, like, asking for help. Like, I don't even know how, like, you would say no to that. I'm just like, dude, I would like to go in there. Can I go in there? Yes, I'm good. Okay, I'm going now. Like, I wouldn't even think about it, you know? I don't know. That one's a sad story on how the media twisted it, but nonetheless,
that one is a pretty sad story. But we talked about Boyd-a-Man. Let's talk about Marvel some more. In that, Marvel Rivals patch notes revealed was a headline that I saw today. Marvel Rivals patch notes revealed for the August 14th, 2025 update. Are people who play competitive shooters waiting for note reveals for updates? Is that a thing?
I guess
Has that become part of the release cycle of the video game that we're getting hype about the patch notes for the next update? Like, I understand. I play video games enough to be the guy who, like, oh, new update? What's in the patch notes? Yeah, all right. But you're not going to catch me waiting more than 5 seconds of care on, like, oh, man, the patch notes are coming. We're about to see the patch notes. We're going to see what it's like. And it's like, how invested into Marvel Rivals do you have to be the guy who's like, oh, they announced the patch notes? Let me look right now. You know? I have to see it right now. For an update that's coming out later today. You know? Like, for an update that came out the same day as the patch notes got released. And it's like, what is your deal, man? Revealed? Is that, like, this is less to do with any individual
competitive shooters
and more to do with just that, like, corporate side and media side. Why are we giving media so much stranglehold in our lives that they can dangle something as simple as a patch note in front of us? Not actual work, not labor, just an intent of development, you know, of what has been done to the video game. Why is that something so minor that is mostly the news you get when the update comes out? You should be hyping the update, not the patch notes for the fucking rebalancing update. The 50th fucking one you've had to do since the game came out 2 months ago, might I add. Jesus Christ. I thought it was just Blizzard. I think companies just suck at making hero shooters today, to the point where it feels like every competitive shooter online is having major rebalances done to it. Fortnite inclusive, by the way, is having major rebalances done to it on the weekly. And it's like, dude, did you not play the game for 10 fucking minutes before you turned on the servers? What the hell was the year of beta testing for? Who knows?
Well, so here's the thing, is that the reason that the patch notes are so hyped is because competitive shooter people are banking on, is my main about to get nerfed? Because those people are the type of people who care that much about winning at the video game.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. Is like being at that level of investment. Like, now, if you're like an esports player or an aspiring esports player, somebody headed down that track where you're getting really into this professionally, like, it is like, unless you are being paid or are going to in the future, very soon mayhaps, be paid to play the video game in some capacity, you should not be this fiending for a patch note. You should not be this focused on the patch notes for Marvel Rivals. Either your main will get nerfed, or it'll get buffed, or it won't get anything, and either way, like, my thing is, nothing in this game will have, nothing that they added in this, like, rebalancing update will affect my gameplay unless it does. And if it does, I'll know that it does when it starts happening, and then I'll check the patch notes and see that that was a patch they made, and be secure in that that's not a bug. Okay, well, I have to adapt to this now, you know? And that's as far as my thought on it goes, beginning to end. I'm not, like, studying patch notes. I've heard people throw out the word analyzing for fucking patch notes, man. They tell you exactly. It's what it says on the tin, dude. What do you want?
Yeah, man. You gotta analyze it, dude. You gotta make sure that fucking whatever character you want to play is still good. I don't know. That's what always never made sense to me was like, dude, I just play the character that I want to play and I learn how to play him to a reasonable degree. And like if I don't enjoy a character, it might be because they're a bad character and they aren't fun to play. However, I don't want to enjoy playing a character and be told it's bad and then I should not play it for simply the reason that it is bad, quote unquote. I don't know. I never understood that about video games, or at
I
least
play
the people who
characters in
play
video
them.
games to have fun even if I lose. Maybe that's controversial, but I feel like that's why I play the game. Is like I pick the character that I have the most fun with the mechanics of, whether that be it's fun because I'm winning as him or it's fun because I actually enjoy the mechanic that much. But like if the fun is in winning, I'm not having that much fun. Not only because I'm bad at games, but even in games where like even on days where it's like, yeah, I won and then I won and then I won for like 8 or 9 games in a row and I had such a good time, I just swept, didn't die once. It wasn't fun by win 8. It won't be fun by win 8. It never is. Winning gets boring very easily to me. So it's like I play the character with the most fun mechanics and that's the one that I play. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I pick
and
the character
like I
that
don't
looks
see
the
why
coolest
people
and
don't play
brings me the
more
most
games
joy.
like that. I didn't
In casual
realize
settings,
that people play video games to like give a shit, really.
Some people
In
play
casual
games to
settings.
win,
I do
and that's
understand that there are
crazy. I play games
esports
to have
and
fun.
like
Yeah, I just thought it was worth the clarification.
Of
Of course.
But like I don't know. For me, my number one priority when I'm playing a video game is having a good time, whether or not I'm losing. And like if I am losing, that doesn't really inhibit the having a good time part of it, typically. At least for me.
Speaking of having a good time, Schedule 1 got an update. It's got its cartel update on the way. And I'm excited. I'm stoked. Because again, the way we play this game in a lot of cases is you manage, and then my husband cooks, and then I do the dealing. I go out and I actually interact with the customers, I build our social credit and shit like that. And that's my part of the game. But late game, that's not really a part of the game that requires a player to be doing it at all. And so like it's become kind of dull. But now with this cartel stuff, you have to be on the streets dealing with cartel members and dealing with like putting graffiti up so that you tag this part of town as your territory and this and that. And so like there's like it's part of the progression to actively keep you outside playing the game instead of inside like doing a thing. And so my portion of the game just got a little bit wider and will only continue to get wider as we go along. It's gonna be great because they're adding police raids next.
It's so exciting.
From what I've heard, that's what's next on the development track.
Yeah, because like I really liked the idea of the guns and stuff. It's just this like, what am I gonna do? Shoot the cops? I did that. I threw him in the river. He's back today. Hey, buddy.
Yeah,
like I did. There's nothing that happened.
Didn't we have one time where we tried to kill every cop in town on a save just to see what would happen? And it worked. And now I'm just kind of bored of killing cops, honestly, in this game.
Yeah.
Like murder in this game doesn't really. Who am I gonna kill? A customer who like stiffed me? Sure. I mean, that's only gonna make them stiff me tomorrow. You know?
Yeah. I
so, like it might give me like short-term satisfaction.
Tomorrow.
It might give me short-term satisfaction, but it sabotages the game a good bit to do that. And so like I try not to do that. I find that a lot of games, weirdly enough, have been more focused on just assuming that their progression is fun and the fun stuff on the side is just a little extra and not like. Because I feel like the actual progression of Schedule 1 is fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a good time. Schedule 1's great. My issue is, though, generally, like, there are times where it felt like a chore. It was kind of chore-esque in that, like, man, all my friends are doing stuff, but I gotta go do these deals by the end of the day, you know? Or, like, I'm out here doing stuff, but my friends aren't because they have to manage and cook some more for me to sell tomorrow, you know? And so it's like, I feel like I don't interact with a lot of mechanics in video games for the sake of, dude, that's going to sabotage my run immediately. Why would I ever touch it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely did have like the chore feeling. However, I kind of like chores in video games. I don't know why.
Me too. It just feels like every game is chores game lately. It feels like every game that like is popular right now is a chores game. Like Repo, chores game. Peak, chores game.
Repo is chores game. I don't agree
the chore
with
is climbing the mountain.
Chores game. Just because like
I know.
I don't know. It's not
I
every day
know
that you get
walking
clown about.
sims
However,
that have less hold the W key to progress the video game in them. Genuinely.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Like,
Peak,
that's my
I'm
gripe.
having a good time with Peak and with the Mesa update, which we didn't talk about. However,
Oh, it's been
is good.
helping.
Um,
Yeah, it has been helping to keep it fresh, yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, but like it does get chore adjacent in the way that it's just like, yeah, I sure am just climbing the mountain, and then
By the time
I'm
I get
gonna
through
wake
Tropics,
up
I
after
already
I
feel
die.
demoralized.
Yeah, typically, unless we have like a really good run, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember the last time that we've had a run where everybody's made it to like at least the Alpine all alive. Like that's so rare that it's just like, I don't know. Typically somebody will get fucked over.
Does not happen. But speaking of getting fucked over, this topic is gonna have to get fucked over, unfortunately, because that's all the time we
That
have for our
is-
show today. Thank you for joining us live. If you joined us live,
Why-
Jed, you want to take us home here?
Yeah, I'll take us home here. You could watch
wanted to
our
throw that in.
episodes of Fight About It every Sunday, 3 p.m. EST. You can check in live, or at least on the preview. You can check in live right now. Hi guys. But like at least for the premiere, you can go ahead and watch that on YouTube.
Hello, second
Yep.
attempt YouTube viewers. I bet you're real confused as to if this is live or not.
But yeah. I will you can find all that on our card page. You can also find our Patreon in the description. It is also linked onto our card page. So if you're in the Twitch chat right now, you can click that link Vox through in there and go ahead and go check out our Patreon if you want to see the pre-show for today. And I think that's about it. Vox, you got any parting words for your stream?
Goodbye!
Bye!